Hi, this is Chanel. Hope you're doing well. The title of this video will be Manipulators and Street Theater Productions. I'm looking up at my board. Yesterday I did a video about street theater productions, and I just want to tie in a lot of the videos that I have or that I've done are about manipulative behavior. Okay, and I've also written a book about manipulators or manipulative behavior. Okay, and so in this video, I'm just going to tie the two together. And so first off, I'll talk about street theater productions. Like I said, I did a video about that yesterday, but overall, a street theater production is basically it's an act that's put together where many people are involved, usually, and it's on public display. Okay, so it's on public display, or the production is on public display. Okay, and like I said, usually there are several people involved. All right, so there are both good and bad. I've seen both good and so when we're talking about productions or something that is happening that is on public display and many people are involved, there are both good and bad. Okay, so examples of positive productions, I guess we'll say, that are on public display. Examples would be a marriage proposal, okay, or a surprise party, maybe an extravagant gift giving ceremony, or if someone gives someone an extravagant gift, maybe reuniting with a long lost family member. So these are examples of situations where many people can be involved. Okay, there's a surprise. Okay, so not everyone involved knows what's going on. So normally there's maybe one or a couple of people. So one individual or one party that does not know what's going on, and everyone else around them knows what's going on. Okay, so like I said, those would be positive examples. Okay, and then when it comes to the negative examples, I mean, there's a long list of what that could be. We'll just let I'll let your imagination run with that. Okay, and so but at the end of the day, at the end of the production, there's a reveal of a surprise. Okay, so toward the end of the production, the surprise is revealed. Okay, and one thing that I have learned, one thing I learned a while back is, so let me back up. So there's a secret. Okay, so there's a secret. There's a production in play. Just about everybody knows what's going on except one person. Okay, when the surprise at the end of that secret. Okay, so it's like I said, so here's the secret, and then here's the surprise. Okay, anytime there is a surprise at the end of a secret, I've learned that if it's a long-term secret, if there's a secret that goes on for a long period of time, an extended period of time, normally it's not a good thing. Okay, things that I just mentioned, a wedding proposal, or a birthday party, or something of that nature. a person is not gonna, for the most part, there's not gonna be a long drawn out production and continuation of secrets and lies for weeks, months, and years if it's good. Okay, 9 times out of 10, if it's good, it's not gonna be a long-term secret. You understand what I'm saying? I have learned that people who kind of go through theatrics and secrecy for a long period of time are hiding something that is more on the opposite end of that spectrum. Like I said, this is normally something that is not good. Okay. And so pay attention to when I talk about paying attention a lot. Okay. And so when you find that a person or a group or whatever the case may be, if someone is secretive or continuously being dishonest or things of that nature, okay, when there's a lack of honesty and transparency with people, and that's just on the surface, okay, you need to be extra watchful. Pay a lot of attention, and know that 9 times out of 10, if a person is continuously being dishonest, whatever it is that's at the end of that, basically, there's something that's something isn't when things don't add up. There's something negative going on. Okay. So going back to street theater, who's willing to participate? Okay, so you have to ask yourself if it's something negative. Okay, who's willing to participate in something negative? Okay, and so one would be a person who, and on my notes I just wrote, a person who's willing to do something strange for a piece of change. Okay, and so basically someone who is willing to do something, that maybe they would not normally do, or maybe they are just willing to do it. If they can benefit from doing something strange, they'll do it. Okay, so if they can benefit from it, and they can and it, maybe if it's something out of the ordinary, but they can benefit from it, they'll do it. Okay, someone who's already, and I put strange, but someone who's already willing to do something strange. Okay, if they're already willing to do something that's unethical or something of that nature, maybe illegal or unethical, then they would be willing to participate in that. Okay. Also titles, in a different video, in a couple of videos, I've talked about titles and tools. Okay, so if they are given a title or a tool, if they already have a title and tools to do something unethical, and again, especially if they're compensated for it, then that would be somebody to watch out for. Okay. pay attention to what people have already shown you. Okay, if someone has already shown you that they are willing to put you in a compromising position, pay attention to that. Okay, if someone is showing you that they're willing to be dishonest, pay attention. If someone has already shown you that they're unstable, if someone has shown you that they are destructive, if they are, like I said, just dishonest, maybe, pay attention to what people have already shown you. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. All right. Also, pay attention to what it also in the line of paying attention to what people show you. In my book, and I don't think I have it right here, but in my book, I've manipulators are understanding ABCs of manipulation. I talk about how some people do what's right, some people do what's wrong, others do what they can get away with. And so when you are observing who's around you, be able to determine whether this is as much as you can. Okay, a lot of times we don't know anyone 100%, or sometimes it can be difficult to know a person fully. However, is this a person who always tries to do right? Is this a person who always does wrong? Or is this a person who does what they can get away with? Okay, people who do what they can get away with are very sneaky. Okay, there's just a lack of transparency there. Okay, and so like I said, just do they do what's right? Do they always do wrong, or do they do what they can get away with? Okay. And also with that, look at and I don't believe in judging anyone. I think everyone has great I don't believe in putting anyone in a box, okay, one way or another, but I think it is important to just pay attention, and try to determine whether, look and see, is a person, excuse me, are they stable or are they unstable? Okay, and are they doing things that create instability, or stability? Okay. Are they criminal minded? Are they destructive? People can be destructive in multiple ways. Sometimes it's, it isn't always, it can be destructive of objects. People can be destructive of, people can be destructive verbally. People can be destructive physically. I mean, it's there are multiple ways and multiple layers of destruction. Okay, so pay attention to what people are willing to do, not what they always do, but pay attention to what people are willing to do. Okay. Also, there are people who are willing to do both. People are willing to both build and destroy. Okay, and so, again, when it comes to those people, so people who are willing to build and destroy, pay attention to who or what they're willing to destroy and who or what they're not willing to destroy. Okay. Pay attention to the level of intelligence that a person has. Okay. Also, can a person be bribed? If a person is possibly rewarded or compensated for something? From what you can see, will a person do something destructive or unethical if they can be rewarded for it? Okay, so like I said, just pay attention to those things. Okay, I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.